Welcome to all viewers. Today's video will be quite special because I went back and found the worlds from my old server from 2015. In short, what you need to know about all this is that I used to create Minecraft servers several times, then I closed them and then I made another one again. And the name of the UborCraft channel actually comes from here, in case someone didn't know, because that was the name of my server and I created the channel to promote the server, but then it just grew on its own. And on my old computer I found a few versions of the oldest servers, and now I'd like to show them to you in this video. So far I've only managed to find as many as I'll show you in this video, but this is nowhere near all of them, because there were more attempts after this as well, but I couldn't find those. I don't have them on my computer. However, if this video gets a lot of likes, I'll message a few people and try to get them, although it's not certain at all that I'll succeed, but you know, it's worth a try. Anyway, let's start checking out these maps. Here I am at the first one. I'll start with the Sky Player versus Player maps. Actually, UborCraft was mostly about Sky Player versus Player back in the day, and maybe this was the very first UborCraft Sky Player versus Player map. And my brother, Haver, built all of this. This was actually the spawn, and I also made the 200 subscriber thank you video here. The villagers are here, but the plugins aren't installed. Currently, I'm in a single-player world and never opened these as a server. I don't recall their versions or requirements. That's why the villagers are wandering now. The repair cost $1,500 and it was an overpowered server. The items weren't expensive. Here are the tools you could get for free, I might add, for free. Everything had its own names. They came up with some really serious names like Net and Cookie and Good. Now what could that be? Oops. The YouTube channel is very important. Was it already placed here at the spawn so people could find it on the server? I promoted the channel, my channel, and the server. It was like cross promotion. The admin room is located down here and only the admins could come down here. It was built here as a flex, and anyone climbing down or exiting here was farming the aura or just looking from here. Since regular players couldn't get down, they'd be teleported back if they tried. So this was the map. You see, there are quite a lot of islands, really. All of them were built by my brother, except for these pixel arts. I made one or two of these, but not all of them. It's worth checking out the islands, since soon we'll be going to the next map, which will also be Sky Player versus Player, just an updated version of this map. My brother was always building new islands or working on the current ones, so, for example, as far as I know, the next map won't even have this anymore. The spawn will also change. And also, what's really important, by the way, what is this here? When the server was running, this definitely wasn't here. This is a 1v1 arena. You can have 1v1s here. I'm not sure why it's so close to Sky Player versus Player, but whatever. So, what's also worth checking out is this giant tree. My brother built such a huge tree here that later it had to be rebuilt smaller. Because really, just look at how sprawling it is. You can wander around to so many places. It's built so you can climb up all the way here. If someone came here, they could do parkour too. Look at all the space in Sky Player versus Player, right? It should be more dynamic. You could easily organize tours on this island. It was simply too large and underutilized. This has already been rebuilt and you'll see it on the next map. This mining spot may have changed too, but we'll check. So this island will definitely look different. Will it stay like this? I don't know. We'll see soon, but I think I've shown everything here. So let's move on to the next map, which was a Christmas event map, and I think this one is also in one of my videos. Oh boy, I need to save the situation here, I think. On the server, this didn't catch fire, but here in a single-player world it did, damn. So this lobby was also in a really old video of mine. Of course, the YouTube release is promoted here as well. If I remember correctly, that's the title of the video. It's still up on the channel, and it has a few thousand views. I think, wow, there's already an enchanting table here. Yeah, there's a huge enchanting table under the spawn. You could buy ranks here with in-game money, but there was only one real money rank, the Eagle, but all the others were for in-game money. What's warp donation? Can't we just warp there? Anyway, this was a Christmas special, you can tell from the decorations. I think by then this giant tree had already been rebuilt. I didn't know it was rebuilt so early. I thought we'd have to go through another 1 or 2 maps, but you can see it looks completely different. The whole thing is much smaller. And from this point on, you couldn't climb up to the treetop anymore. Maybe just bounce up, but if someone wanted to do that, then okay. These islands look the same. The pixel art has been moved here. This is the islandy island. This is the white sandy beach floating island. I'm not sure if this was in the last level, but maybe. I think these icy sections have been rebuilt here, right? This didn't look exactly like this. A few pixel arts have been moved here, and this airship has been flipped. Plus, this mushroom island was also in the previous level. It's like a mini village found here too, with many valuable items. Here's a bunker built on a tree too. This is actually my first video on the channel, and it's still up if you want to check it out. We made the video to be included, to prove that all the islands were made by my brother with his own hands, and they weren't downloaded maps or copied from somewhere else, and there's actually a speed build, a time-lapse video uploaded showing my brother building this. I never thought I'd run into this too. What the heck? And it's set up exactly like in the video. There was a jump boost potion here, probably because it's called Shokani. This is so nostalgic, it's unbelievable. From here, the giant, flat, colorful island is already gone, as you can see, and I think I've pretty much flown around the whole map and showed you everything here too. So let's move on to the next one. What the heck, guys? This was the very first version of the UborCraft Sky Player versus Player server that was open, that's for sure. I remember this lighthouse. Protection for Iron set is up here. You just had to parkour to get it. It's free, no cost. This is UborCraft, guys. There's a volcano over there, and well, it was a really serious volcano. Also, my brother built a village island here, and yes, here again is this giant colorful island. I made this one. This is the mushroom island, very creatively, with a mushroom pixel art placed above it. Here is a ruined island. We haven't seen this one before either. I think so, because there were completely different things here, and the desert island was also quite different. There used to be a simple pyramid built here, and the spawn was just a plain, nice-looking house. I'd like to mention once again, guys, this map and the whole server were made in 2015, 10 years ago, so you have to look at all of this in the context of that time. You could also buy ranks for real money / warp donation. Well, here this thing was a bit pushed. It seems I didn't know how it worked back then. It was my first attempt. The tree is still huge here, not much has changed. Also, the villagers weren't set up yet, so you couldn't see the nice grass color, and it still looked ugly. Plus, there's this little spring island here where you could get $250 every minute. If you clicked on this sign, every island was full of these signs, or rather there was one of these signs on each island. If I remember right, there used to be villagers here, Diamond Villager, Iron, and Boros, who sold leather goods, but now they're no longer set up. Plus, wait, this whole icy island looks completely different than in the new versions. And look, let me show you a big secret. If you had played on the UborCraft server in 2015, this is where you would have found the most secret, most powerful weapon. I think it was a sharpness 4 unbreaking 3 diamond sword for free. You just had to parkour down to get it, but if you got knocked off from there, you would die and lose everything. Alright, I think I've shown you everything from here. Let's move on to the next map. This is gonna be a really big jump now, but I think we're on time here as well. We've seen a similar view on an earlier map, since almost everything here is the same, except for the spawn. This has been completely rebuilt. As you can see, it looks pretty good, except for this ground. It didn't look exactly like this. There was an early version, but later on this was rebuilt as well. Since, I don't know if it will be rebuilt on the next map, because there will be one more map after this from the Sky Player versus Player ones, and the last one I found is already here. It was the end of everything, but afterward, 1 or 2 survival ones will remain. Nothing changes. Really, only the spawn was rebuilt here. I think the ranks was still the same. We stuck with the names. YouTube was of course the most important thing. If someone joined the server, this was the first thing they saw. Very nice. You could buy a G-Man set here. This was also part of the spawn. There was no player versus player here yet, and the 1v1 arenas, yes, we'll take a look at those later as well. Or rather, I just flew out of Sky Player versus Player, it's behind me, and here are the big secrets that only the admins could see. Here, my brother rebuilt the islands. Specifically, here's the Sky Player versus Player. You can see it once again. Here, the islands are just randomly placed all over the place. So I think these here were mini-games, like Tag or Shark Game, or what was its name? This is a giant maze library where you can enchant. It's a bit dark, but there were no mobs. Here's the enchanting table and a maze made entirely of bookshelves. So this was an event obstacle course. This wasn't built by my brother, but maybe by an old builder. Quiz game, there's a quiz game here too, guys, right? It's true or false, and if you stood in the wrong place, you fell down. Here's another event obstacle course, much longer than the last. We held larger events here, and finishing required parkouring up at the end. And if you fell down once, then of course you had to go up from the beginning, up, up, still up. Here's the very top, and this is the end. We gave prizes for first, local, and second place as well. Oh, here's another old spawn. I don't think we've seen this one yet in the video. Honestly, looking at it today, it's just a simple little Minecraft house, but I think it looks pretty cool. It had several floors, although there isn't really anything on the other floors. There's a Halloween 1v1 arena here, as you can see, then a climbing wall event game. Man, it was really hard to climb up this back then, and I think this is a dropper. Here you don't have to go up, but down. And you couldn't break the webs. This was a long game, and the winner was whoever reached the bottom first and ran in here. Bam. So here there's also an obstacle course event now with slime jumps too, and you can take multiple paths. This part is tricky. Actually, you don't need to come this way. You just run up here and keep going. There were some pranks. Some people fell for it and took an unnecessary lap here. Yes, that's why it was designed this way. Players just slid through, at least those who could. A few more jumps at the end here and here. Well, I don't know. This is how you do it. You can get through, and that's the end. Did the builders start building random houses like this when they got bored? Although this got a bit smashed up, I don't know why, and this is pretty weird too. Here's the smallest 1v1 arena, one of my favorites. Here's another 1v1 arena I like too. It's also small, so you can easily corner your opponent. There was a desert-themed 1v1 arena full of annoying cobwebs. I think this is the last 1v1 arena if I remember right. Lele Komokos. Oh, and wait, I think this was also a 1v1 arena. Yeah, it was. This is one of the largest. We did a lot of archery here. My brother built this while another builder made the other 1v1 arenas. And now guys, let's move on to the last Sky player versus player style UborCraft map. Well, here we are. This is the last final version I found among the Sky player versus player UborCraft servers. Here I see that only this one island has been modified, but I think it was rebuilt by Lirias, who is the owner of FireMC and Rivals Network, because during this period UborCraft Sky player versus player was added to Rivals Network. So, did he make all these modifications here? And yes, this part here was finally rebuilt too, which I mentioned earlier, but I'm not sure if he did it. I remember it that way because the UborCraft server was once added, and this island has also changed. If I see it right, I don't know the point of this. As for the reward, we won't find out what it gives. We've checked every change here, so let's move on to the next map. I can't believe it, guys, that this is here too. I was sad that I couldn't find the lobby of PrehistoriCMC, but this isn't even the final lobby. But there's another one there too, so the point is that PrehistoriCMC is actually the very first UborCraft, since it was called PrehistoriCMC. My brother and I started making our own server for the very first time, and this was the lobby. This was the very first lobby my brother built. We began as a survival server, and only later did Prehistoric Survival become UborCraft Sky, player versus player. Don't ask me how. This lobby isn't finished yet, but we'll check another one in a moment to see how it looks. There were several versions of this in different styles. A winter one, a summer one, and maybe more. I don't even know what this is. It's probably another player versus player arena. And here we go again. I think this is some kind of lobby too. Maybe it was the lobby for a survival server or something, I'm not sure. But as you could see, I'm in a big flat world, so there are several different structures here. This looks like a lumberyard to me, but if I remember correctly, this wasn't just a regular lumberyard on a survival server, but more like a tycoon game. We wanted to make one, and this was one of the jobs. This would have been one of the first jobs, and here are the corresponding ranks. The first one was Wanderer. 25,000 forints was in-game currency, not real money. The sign even says you buy it with a right click, so if you collected 25,000 on the server, you could buy it. 75,000. No, it's really not real money, guys. 250,000. And the point here was that first you could only buy the Wanderer rank, and after that you could only enter the rank that comes next. This is where the process got stuck. I couldn't figure it out, so it didn't happen. UborCraft Tycoon games, so there are still a lot of mini-games here. I think these were also made by an architect. First, second, third place. Oh yeah, by the way, this is a kind of maze, guys. There are fences down there, and then there's this maze too. It seems like this is a basic maze, and what the heck is this here? This is an obstacle course at the beginning with a maze, parkour, lava jumps and stuff like that. Whoa, a more seriously put together quiz game. The area is much bigger here. Honestly, I don't know what this map was or where it belonged with these totally random structures and a prehistoric Minecraft lobby, but I think we've seen everything here too. So let's move on. I found a survival version of the UborCraft server, but it's not really put together. You can see the UborCraft sign up there. Here are the warps. This was definitely a survival. There's even a warp market. Well, I don't know where that is. We can't go to these places, but there was a quiz here and mini-games, a maze, Nether, end. We'll check out the end and the Nether later too. Guys, the YouTube channel is here too. Can't miss it. In the wilderness, I don't think there are any built things, although there's something over there, and here too a very small, basic little hut. I think. If this survival server was running, it likely wasn't for long. What the heck? I found secrets in this under construction site. Although something serious started here, it wasn't finished. There's also a building nearby that's mostly destroyed. Look what I found on the mountainside. A small house and an empty chest. Unfortunately, the stuff in the chest didn't transfer to this version because I'm actually opening these maps in the latest version. Someone definitely built that in creative mode. This is 2016 Minecraft gameplay and they transferred over items summoned from a kit, I think. You see, there's the UborCraft label under every item, and I think this was probably the basic kit with basic stuff, but that's crazy. There's even some basic shop here, a UborCraft basic shop. Alright, and then this here, what is this? This is just some kind of ice tower. There are chests in this house too. I'm mainly interested in the chest and basic shovel. Everyone had basic items. Oh, I think I found something here. The dancing cow varp. No, this was some kind of spam too, or maybe it's an enchanting area, I don't know. But this is also an area, or maybe the whole mine. Well, okay, alright guys, let's move on to the next level. Imagine there was a time when UborCraft operated as a lobby, and because of that it also had a plot server. This here would be the spawn for the plots, and well, yeah, people didn't really use it. As you can see, nobody built anything anywhere. Basically, the save of the map is just these few chunks you see here. Since after this, it's just a regular survival world, not a plot system. Not only players, but even admins didn't really visit this map. I didn't find any lobby spawn or anything like that, just random structures. I don't know where this map is from or why, but players played here too. Dobby tossed in a gold long ago. I'll give my little bro quite a bit too. Denny06 built the throne of Mugjondi Matias. Wow, what secrets are coming out here, guys? Someone took survival really seriously here. They built a huge wall around their base. Tools. Okay. SkyPro pickaxe, hold on. So this was the survival server of the SkyPvP server. Ubicoin, here's some Ubicoin, guys. Yeah, this server was definitely connected to SkyPvP. That's why there's no lobby here. SkyPvP had a spawn point and you could teleport from there to the wilderness. There are many of these small buildings. One over there, another on the hill. But on this island, the architecture is more impressive. It stood out in 2016. Wow, guys, wow, really, a fully geared guy lived here with 7 diamonds. And guys, let's move on to the next map from here, because there are still a few more I'd like to show you. The name of this world is Free. And here too, I didn't find a lobby or a spawn, or at least it didn't put me there, so I think there's probably no entrance here, but I definitely want to go in. Really, a fully geared guy lived here. This was probably also connected to the SkyPvP server, and I think that's why there's no lobby here either. Really, there were so many diamonds, iron, gold, and emerald blocks here. It was really stacked. The guy had tons of horses and farms. These aren't automatic yet, but I found a little automation here. The chicken lays eggs into the hopper and then the chest is full of eggs. Well, yeah, in 2016 there weren't too many options yet. Oh man, I think I found the spawn, but this is really old. Well, I remember that there used to be a server called Hungary Life, and it had its own owners and developers. I was on good terms with them, and I made this together with them. Maybe, and yes, I'm sure this is the spawn, but I think it was connected to Sky Player versus Player. Regardless, this is just a small survival section where you have to write everything out one by one, buying and selling. Oh my god, it wasn't even finished. Missions. There are missions for this, huh? I'm curious what kind of missions there are. On the board in the building, press right for the mission, Farmus mission. Yeah, you hear me? I don't get this. Totally farm, do right first, melon farm, do right first, farm beginnings. What's going on? Farm beginnings, right? At least 3 missions. I don't think I wrote these down. Monster hunter, do right first, zombie hunter. You hear me? The wording is extreme, really extreme. Pig hunter, too right. Okay, I get this, I get this. Let's leave spawn here, it's not such a big deal. I mean, that house looks pretty good, but mostly there are greenhouses here. The glass was really cool. Around 2015-16. In Minecraft, as you can see, yeah, back then survival was really about surviving, not about building 6 million farms to have everything. These were just farms where you plant crops. Like here, the crops are planted, and that's basically it. And are you curious what the Nether was like on a survival server like this back in 2015? Let's see, we're here, but this might be the Nether lobby or not. Maybe there's no lobby at all. All I see are straight roads and blocks. Some portals I didn't build. My portal goes to Amora, where I also see roads. You can spot player traces leading to the stronghold or fortress, but otherwise it's just scattered blocks. Actually, I've seen Nether maps and end maps in several server folders, but I only added one of each, since I'm completely clueless here about where I should actually go, and honestly I don't really remember lobbies like this. Maybe there were 1 or 2, but anyway, actually, wait, what's this, guys? How did a gold wall get here? Seriously? I don't know, whatever, I didn't put it there. Okay, I think we should go to another end level since I can't find anything here. When my Minecraft server ended back in 2015, guys, this is what it looked like. You couldn't break blocks here because it could have been destroyed really quickly. Actually, the whole thing with full gear, so there was just this little starting area here. If you teleported here, it was to avoid the dragon, which also can't break these blocks. So just come up here. And you could fight it, although I think it died once. And after that there was no more dragon. Back then you couldn't even revive the dragon, so people didn't come here very often. That's why we didn't really overdo this place. And that's it. I didn't think I would finish at the dragon. But now we'll defeat it again, because it's just tradition to defeat the dragon. Done, we defeated it, and guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel, and have a great day. Goodbye.